All right, there we go.
Here we go. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Money Mondays. My name is Paul Johnson. I am the Director of Economic and Community Development here at the Greater Portland Council of Governments.
Ooh, are we saying it out today?
I I just felt fancy.
I'm,
I feel
I'll
fancy.
try it
That's all.
too. I'm Belinda Ray. I am the Director of Strategic Initiatives here at the Greater Portland Council of Governments, otherwise known as GPCOG.
And as always, we have two money opportunities for you. That was the first one and second one. Two money opportunities for you today. Mine is an exciting new AI housing permitting pilot program. Yeah, the next slide's fine. I won't read all this, but I am challenging anybody out there. If you are a brave soul, I will buy you a fruit basket and I will come to town hall and buy your entire staff fruit baskets if you dare to do this. This is HUD. HUD is at the federal level is looking for six brave souls out there to test pilot AI driven housing permitting process. So we all know the housing permitting process can be cumbersome and confusing, and sometimes a mix between spreadsheets and paper and some fancy software you bought that's no good anymore. And it's one of the things that they're saying is holding back housing. So they have, next slide, $3 million dollars in funding with a floor of a $300,000 ask and a ceiling of a $1.5 million ask. And they're giving out six of these awards. And I don't know if you're in the middle of a transition anyways, or whether that be software or systems or even staff, if you're hiring a new batch of staff or a new director, maybe you just YOLO this and give us a try. The applications are due on July 17th, if I am correct in my brain. As always, I have linked it down below. That goes straight to grants.gov, so there's no other organization, so to speak. So it goes right to the nitty-gritty, brings you right to the application. And again, if you're feeling brave, if you want a fruit basket for you and your staff, all you have to do is secure one of these awards. And then let the magic begin afterwards. So and then report back, and it will be amazing. We could probably make a reality show out of it. So
So they have to secure the award to get the fruit
they
basket,
do.
not just
Yes, because
apply.
I am not a rich man, right? So this is kind of a gamble. I have to if they secure the award, even if it's that floor, 300,000, I'm sure HUD would love
Yeah.
a quote small Maine town to be one of their test pilots, right? Doesn't always have to be a fancy place, right?
No.
Uh,
And I think it's over 3 years. So it's a hundred
yeah,
thousand a year. So yeah, small
yeah,
town, I think fits the bill there.
yeah.
Well,
So
that's exciting.
you can't afford not to apply for this grant. You really
It's
can't.
true.
Yeah.
Especially there's a fruit basket at stake.
Yes.
Forget the $300,000.
Oh, okay, Belinda, on to you.
All right, all right. It's not nearly as exciting. No fruit baskets here, but budgeting and tracking in-kind funding. You're always told when you get a grant, you often need to provide a cost share, like a 10%, 20%, sometimes even 50% cost share. And you can do that in cash, but you can also do that in-kind funds. So what are they, first of all? Well, it's not cash. It's the stuff that's not cash that you need to do the project, but that someone else gives you. So you end up getting it for free. It could be donated services or goods, like you got a bunch of public meetings you have to do. You need food to get people to come. A pizza place donates the pizza. That's in kind. The cost of that pizza goes toward your project. If people donate their own time to work on your project, their time, their labor is a donated service. Those superhero people that come in and donate their time. Or it could be facilities or equipment, like you need meeting space. You have a big event going on, and some company gives you a tent for it to use for the day. You count that tent rental as in kind. Tablets, equipment people give you to help do surveys. These are all in kind things. If people give them to you, you're not paying for them, but they have a value. So you can count that toward your cost share. How do you calculate the cost of someone's labor for in kind? Well, if they are sharing their expertise, like for instance, a lawyer donates their time to go over legal stuff with you, they're using their lawyerly time and talent. And so you can bill that at their full hourly rate. Whatever they would charge for this service, that's what you can count as your in kind. But if that same lawyer comes and helps you stock the shelves at your food pantry, they're not using their legal expertise. So you have to count them at the federal volunteer rate, which is currently 36.14. So 36.14 an hour for every hour they give you goes toward your cost share. For other things, if it's goods like, people are donating paper products, or you're doing some kind of road work and someone's donating safety vests for people to be volunteers out there, things like that. Whatever the value is at the time of the donation, that's what you're going to count it as. If they're just, the paper goods you're using, if they're just renting you the vest, you'd have to figure out some kind of rent fee. But if they're giving them to you, whatever the value of that vest is at the time it's given to you, that's what you count. So for facilities, equipment, services, if someone is giving you meeting space, whatever they might normally rent that at, that's your in-kind cost. If someone donates a speed feedback sign to your community for a road safety project that you're doing, that full cost of that speed sign, and if they install it for you, then you count all that as well. So that's how you're tallying the worth. When you put together your budget, you need to make sure your in-kind costs are in the budget, right? Because if you're counting them as part of your cost share, then they must be necessary for your project. And if they're necessary for your project, they should be in your budget. So here's how it might look. We've got expenses here, and I want you to pay particular attention to these lines. So these are what I'm counting as my in-kind. So municipal technical assistance. So I've got municipal staff giving their time and talent. I've got people on a committee who are donating their time. I've got that pizza place giving me meeting supplies, my pizza or paper goods or whatever, or paper or anything. And I've got a company that's giving me the facility rental. So that's how it's showing up on my expense side. It's a non-personnel cost. I've said how much it is. And then on my revenue side, I'm showing that these are the in-kind things that I'm being given. And you'll notice the meeting supplies weren't totally paid for by Belinda's Pizza meeting supplies, just the pizza. I had other meeting supplies costs, but part of those meeting supplies were in kind. And same thing for the facility. Unum was kind enough to give me a room. I had other facility stuff I had to do, but that 500 was in kind. So here's how you account for it in your budget. And how do you track it? Yes, because when you submit grants reporting, when you submit your expenses, if you're doing a grant that's reimbursement based, they want evidence that you actually spent this money. So for people's time, we have this great tracking sheet that we use internally. It's a spreadsheet. And you fill in people's names, you fill in where they're from, organization, their title, or some notes about what the service was. If it's a meeting or a task, you want to have the date, how much time, what the rate was, and also the time period. So they gave you 1 hour. When was that hour? It was 10 to 11, it was 12 to 1. So you're keeping track of all of these things. Below labor, we have just some other items. We have an equipment rental, space rental, space rental. So you can see how that adds up all your in-kind costs. And if you keep track of it over the course of a project, they add up. You also want to keep your receipts. So if you're buying things, keep those receipts. You might need to submit those, photocopy them. If you purchase food from somewhere, you can use a menu as the evidence that this is what this cost. And for people's time, you might use a payroll report or some kind of wage documentation from the place that they work, or comparable rates that are published somewhere. So all of that will help you keep track of your in-kind. So in-kind, in summary, first get familiar with what qualifies, and you might check the specific grant that you're working with, because sometimes they have details about what they will and will not accept. Federal government has very specific standards about what is in kind and how to count it and how to report it. Determine what you can get for your project, calculate their worth, make sure they're included in your budget, track them during the budget, and then keep your backup materials in case you need them in your reporting. So that is it. If you have questions on in kind, or if you have questions about what that fruit basket might look like what fruits, how much, what's in there, Paul? How much of an incentive is this?
All I know is you have to eat them fast. That's all I know. Because
Perishable. It will
yeah,
be perishable.
they look good for about 23 minutes, right? So then you,
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah,
they're beautiful when in that
that's right.
cellophane
That's my point.
makes everything
Yeah,
shiny.
exactly. Right.
All right, folks.
With that, thank you. And remember, if it is money, then if it's Mondays, I said it.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, you were
yeah,
right the first time.
yeah, yeah. I got it wrong. Yep.
Go
If
ahead.
it's
Money. You do the
money, then
money.
it's Mondays. Yeah, I got to finish
And
it.
if it's Monday, then it is money.
So,
Have a
thank
good
you,
week,
everybody.
everybody.
All right,
See you
bye.
next week.